Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Welcome back. Lovely to be here again. I hope you're all well. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to all the new people who have joined our miniature family. You know I hate doing that, but there you go. Yes, welcome all you newbies to the family. I've been my subscribers are going up fairly quick at the moment, so thank you to every one of you, and especially the ones that have just joined us or joined the family and been commenting because they're really enjoying what we're doing. Thank you to the people who have sent emails who have talked about problems they have or had in life and how much my videos, very humbly I have to say, but how much my videos are helping them in some kind of emotional way to help them feeling better. That's very important. I just wanted to say that because I've had quite a few of you write in over time, and I don't when you do email me and chat and whatever, I just want you to know that I don't just either not read the emails or read them and don't bother answering. They all mean a lot to me. So I'm not going to spend half an hour talking about that, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who has joined our family, and I hope I continue to bring joy and happiness. So what I was going to do today, the day is getting on now, but I was going to just sit and make some plant troughs, small wooden plant troughs, and plant them up with my own planting and different things, so to make them unique, and to go on to my website for sale. So I was just going to sit quietly. I've lit some incense sticks. I've got my coffee here. Cheers everybody. And yes, I was going to sit and make some and then photograph them and put them in my shop. And before I started, I just thought to myself, if you were all here, would you want to sit and watch me make them? I think the answer was yes. So yes, I can hear somebody saying yes. Yes, please, Rich. So I've decided to film it. It will take longer to make them because I'm filming and I want everything just right for you guys. But yes, I just thought I'd make a video of it so you can see the planters coming together. Planters, plant troughs, or whatever we want to call them. Who knows? Who cares? Okay, so I have just started. Well, what I have done is I've been ordering different packs of flowers, all different. Some of these are from RichMiniatures, some aren't, but just all lovely, cheerful, different types of flowers. These ones I have. There's irises, there's gladioli, there's hyacinths, there's roses, there's lilies, and I've got other things as well in my garden or outdoor drawer, as I call it. It is packed full. I'm looking down at it now. I've just opened one of the drawers in this unit, and it is full to the brim of things to do with gardening. So I've got greenery there. I've got other coloured powder that looks like little flowers. I've also got boxes of all different sizes of balsa wood, which is nice and light, and you can create textures on it. I've got packs of little sticks here that are about 4 by 4 millimeters, or even 3 by 3. I've got some coffee stirrers. I've got some very thin sheets of wood laminate flooring, or I can't remember the name of that now, but I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, I've got some of this as well. It's very, very thin. I would use that for covering the outer part of the trough if I'm going to make it with this. I'll maybe make some different ones and just see how it goes. I even got little coloured wooden tiles there with different patterns on. So we're going to see. I'm just going to make something up and make it from scratch, but it will be, obviously it will be quite detailed. I can't do anything simple, as you know. Well, it will probably be fairly simple to make, but there'll be a lot of bits to it to finally have it finished. I want these to look different and unique, so that whoever does buy them, you will have the only ones in the world. Right, without further ado, I can never see you properly when I'm wearing my glasses because they're for close-up work. Hi there. I can see you now. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, now, sorry I don't have overhead cameras at the moment. Hopefully sometime in the future I'll be able to get around to that. But at the moment, just so you've got a rough idea of what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting or making a template for the sides of the planter, call it a planter. So what I've done first of all is measure the length of the base of the planter. I want it 8 centimeters long. So I've marked those 2 lines at 8 centimeters and drawn a line. Then I wanted it, I think, 2.5 centimeters high. I'm just choosing a height aesthetically pleasing to the length. So I've marked a couple of measurements there, 2.5 centimeters, and drawn another parallel line. Then on that line, I have then from the 8 centimeter marks on one side, between the 2 parallel lines, I've just drawn a diagonal line, again aesthetically pleasing to look at. So I didn't want it really steep, I didn't want it straight up and down the sides of the trough. Obviously I want a bit more detail, me being me. So I just drew a diagonal line, a straight line. Once I'd done that, then I cut this shape out and just left extra at the end here. As you can see, there's a bit missing there. So what I did then was to take this out. I've marked the 4 centimeter point from there to there. So I've done that, and then all I'm doing now, I've got this shape here, I just want it repeated on this side. So I just got the halfway mark, folded it in half, keeping the whole thing parallel, and wherever this line came to, now there'd be a bit of paper sticking out here, I just went over that with the scalpel, so I got them both exactly the same. And then when you open it out, you've got the sort of basic shape to the side of your planter. And then I just put that onto a bit of, this is a bit of basswood I'm using, so it's a stronger wood to start with. And all I've done is line it up parallel along one side, because this is a square piece of wood, and I've just put one end of the planter to the edge of the wood there, and then drawn a diagonal line. I actually just marked the top and the side a slight bit, and the base a tiny bit. Then I marked the base there, and then the top at one side, and along the top there. And then I took that away, joined those lines up, so I've got the shape. And then, as you can see, I've just drawn a vertical line straight down. I'm not going to try and cut this out with the scalpel on a slant at this end. So what I'm going to do is basically make out as if I'm cutting a rectangular piece of wood. When you're doing that as well, don't cut along the grain to start with, because it can split up further, and it's just not as neat. So where you've got that mark, you stop the line going any further by cutting from there down, so you're cutting across the grain. When I do start cutting, I'll start from the edge, just off the edge there, just to get the line started. If you start from there and draw your blade straight down, when you get to the edge here, it can just split these fibres of wood apart, and then you've ruined the bottom of it. So if I'm left-handed, and my camera really is on the wrong side to show you. It should be looking down here really, but anyway, it's the only way I can do it at the moment. So I'm just lining it up like so, and as I said, instead of going straight down, what I can do as well, the line going across the top, I'll just mark it just as a rough guide. So when I've got the ruler in place and I can't see this line, I can see it continuing out just here. So I know where I'm going to go up to. So get that in place. I've got a new blade in my craft knife, and then just start a sort of quarter of an inch on the edge there, and just draw it down, sort of press down as you come to the edge there. So I'm just nicking the corner of the wood like so. And then once I've gone down through to the cutting board, then I can start doing the whole line from one end to the other. And that's just one continuous line. And you can sort of hear and feel when you've got down to the other side of the wood. You might not be able to see it properly, but there we are. That's it there. So once you've cut that bit there, you can then go with the grain and cut along the top. I'll just lay that as even as possible. If these are, when you're making anything, if it's not exact, as I keep saying to people, it really doesn't matter. Oh, and also when you're cutting along the grain, you don't have to start at the very edge, because the fibres aren't going across, they're going with you. So they're not going to split when you're cutting along with the grain. So as long as you keep it in a nice straight line and hold your ruler down. I'm using a metal safety ruler, so you can put your hands in the groove and the blade doesn't slip onto the ruler accidentally because it's raised up. It's a much safer ruler to use. I think it's actually called a safety ruler. Who knew? Okay, that's fine. And then your diagonal bits, you can then lay them on the line, and you're just cutting short widths now. Just lay that on the line diagonally. Again, I would start from the base and just nick that first of all, like that, and then start doing the diagonal line. And it doesn't matter if it takes a dozen strokes of the blade or 4 strokes of the blade. It's not a race. You just want to take your time. And then same here. Just go off the edge there. And then like so. There we are. And you have your, let's call it a boat shape. So we're making a boat shape planter. There you go. Okay, so these bits should really tidy up as I go along, but I shall throw them on the floor and sweep them up later. I know, I'm a rebel. What can I say? Right, okay, so once you've got that, you can what I probably will do is use the paper template again, because it's very close and flat to the wood. If I use this and it's raised up and then draw the line, because as it's thicker there, you might not get the pencil in as neat as you would with a piece of paper, because there's nothing to hold the lead away from your cut line. So I'll do the same again, cut another piece so I can get that in there. And then after this wood here, I'll cut the 2 ends. So I'll carry on with this, and let's see it coming together. So there's some jets going over above us at the moment. I'm sure you can probably hear them. That's them both cut out, and they are exact. Although if they were slightly out, it doesn't matter. If you wanted them as neat as possible and one was slightly wider than the other, then just hold them together and use a bit of sandpaper. Oops, just use a bit of sandpaper. And again, with bits of wood like this, I wouldn't go backwards and forwards with a bit of sandpaper, because you're going to start rounding the sides. I would just get it, I won't do it because these are very neat, but I would just put the wood on like that and draw it back with your hand in a straight line like that a few times, just to get that nice and even. But we don't need that at present. So there we are. Let's get rid of those bits. Nobody saw me do that. Now, so we are going to work out now the depth at the bottom of the planter. I don't want it too narrow because I don't want it sort of falling over, toppling over, and I don't want it really wide. What I'm going to do is cut it. I'm going to cut a shape here so that it's slightly narrower at the base of the planter. There's more planes going over, and then splaying out at the sides a little bit. Not too much, but just to give it again another angle at the ends there. I don't, as I said, I don't want it sort of parallel. I want it slightly out like so. So I'll get these measurements how I want them, cut those bits out, and then we can glue them together. To get the ends, which is this little piece here, all I'm doing is a smaller version of the sides of the plant trough. So I've got the length that I want them and the height. So I drew two parallel lines the same height as this, and then I measured the width of the base of the planter that I wanted, and then laid that on top of this bit of paper. So I've got the same line there, and just drew a line there. Then, hang on, if I turn this round, you can see it better. There we are. So we've got the same shape there. So I drew the width there, a line there. That width I just made into half and drew a line straight up, and then just folded. This was a longer piece of paper, and I folded it, and when I've already got the slope there, I just drew a pencil line on that slope and cut it with the craft knife. And then when you open it up, you've got a mirrored image of the ends. So they will all now fit together as neatly as possible. They are going to be covered up. I'm not just painting these. That would be too easy. Although once you've made it up, you can paint it or decorate it, and you know, basically do what you want to it. But I've got ideas, my own ideas, to make them unique, so that's what I shall continue doing. So I'm just putting some wood glue on here, just using my jig to square things off and make them at right angles. I'm laying that in the corner and laying this on top, and just even them up so they're level with the bottom and the top, like so. And then if I am going to fill these, obviously, but if I wasn't going to, then the tiny bit of glue in there, I would just get at the end of a cocktail stick and just scrape that off to get rid of it. But this, you can leave the glue there showing, because it will just hold it even stronger when it's put together. So I'll just get that, as I say, in line, square it off, and I'll hold that for a minute so it's against the wall and against the floor, and I'll leave that, hold it there just so it sort of holds and dries a little bit, and then I'll just let it go carefully like so. And then I can do the same to the other piece. Obviously I'll do that, where's the other piece? I'll do that in, oh hang on, there it is. I'll do that in the opposite direction, so when I put the two together they will make the trough. So you can line them up yourself first of all. So that's going to go there, this is going to go this side, so this obviously goes there like so, and then I can lay that in there glue that bit and let that set. And then it'll be easy just to join the two corners together. Now just to show you, I've cut a long thin rectangle, the width of the base, so it's the same width as it is from there to there. And then I've done it just 2 millimeters shorter, so that when I place the other side on, it will just fit in there like a jigsaw, and that will just hold it even better. And I can glue all along these edges then, and on the other side as well. And that will be the inner shell of the planter made. Right, okay, so now we have our trough, or our planter. It's got the nice shape out at the ends and out that way as well, so it's all angled. That's fine. So that's the inner shell. So now we're going to, I want it sort of old looking, old and very sort of cottagey looking. So now I've got a strip, or I've cut a strip of balsa wood like so, just enough to cover this. If I'm running out, then I can cut a bit more. It doesn't really matter, so I haven't measured it. We'll just see what comes, because I can sand off anything that goes over the edge. It's not a problem, and it makes the whole thing more hand built and more organic looking. So this is 3 mil wood. 1, 2, yes, 3 mil balsa wood. So if you were careful, you could make the planter in this material right off, but it is sort of bendy, and maybe over time it might sort of get a bit out of shape, whereas this is quite solid and hard and you can't bend it. So I've cut this strip, and what I want to do is make planks of wood so I can clad the outside of the planter. So for that, I'm going to use my new toy, which is I'll hold it up so you can see it, which is a balsa stripper. And this one is Master Air Screw, and there's the model number there. You can get different ones. You can get very cheap ones, you can get middle of the road ones. This is one of the better ones. It's a much firmer made tool, but it wasn't expensive at all. It's got a metal screw going right through the middle there, and it's being held there. So as you turn this, it moves the blade, or it moves this blue plastic thing backwards and forwards. I think you can cut up to about 1/2 inch wide strips. Without reading it, I can't remember. But all I've done is bring it in to the width that I want against this blue plastic bit, and there's the blade. The blade that comes on here, then you just unscrew these, put the blade in and screw it tight. So it's just holding it flat there. And all I've done when I set this up is I've put the blade in, put it on my work mat, make sure the blade is touching the work mat, just skimming over it without digging into it or without being above it. And then I've screwed it in to hold it in place. You can put the blade in either way you want, for left or right-handed, it doesn't matter. Well, it matters if you're right-handed and you put it in a left-hand blade, but you know what I mean. So then all you do is run the edge of your wood, lay it down. I've put the blade in so it's just, as I said, touching the mat, so it's going to cut through this. And all you do is run the edge of the plastic thing there along the edge of your wood. So the edge of the wood has to be straight to start with, and I'm just going to go in from one end and pull it towards me, and that's going to cut a plank. Hopefully, I haven't actually done this yet, but let's have a go. So obviously I'm going to put it in, I can't really do it this way for the camera, but I'm going to put it in this side and then bring it forward like so, and then I'm going to run it all along. I'll have to do it this way round, otherwise I'm going to mess it up. So sorry my hand is covering it. but you get the idea, I'm sure, of what it's going to do. And obviously you keep your fingers out of the way of the blade coming forward. It sort of goes without saying. And just keep the blue plastic thing straight all along the edge. And it has cut a strip the same width all the way along. Hurrah! Which is exactly what I was hoping for. So let's do the others. Again, being careful. There we are. It's just almost cutting through, but all I do is snap it. So that's probably just the right depth to do it, and then you're not scraping on your mat. And then for the last one, I'll just have to do it slowly and move my fingers down at the same time, and then I can go beyond it and then just pull it. There we are. Job done. Excellent. I will actually put this back in the plastic here with the blade down on the card, and then it won't be so easy to hurt yourself with it. I suppose each time you stop using it you could undo it and lay the blade flat on here and tape it again. It's up to you, I suppose. I'm just going to leave it as it is, but be aware that it is in place. Right, so what I'm going to do is lay these on here, glue them on, and shape them as well as I go. So what I might do is, with each piece, as I said, I want it looking old and worn looking, so I'm going to get a steel wire brush. This is you can get different ones. I've got 3 various ones, but this is the hardest one to get the effect that I want. And then all I'm doing, be careful of with this that you don't put the brush down on your fingers when you're trying to brush. Like if you're going too fast, trust me, it hurts. So all I'm doing is well, I suppose what you could do is hold it down one end with something. This is just handy, so I've got it. Hold it like that, and then I'm going to scrape, push down and scrape. Do it quite quickly, like so, and then I shall turn it round and do the other side, or the other end. And then basically I'm just doing this as much as I want the grain to come up and to look old. Scrape it a bit like so. There we are. Now that's putting lines and grooves into the soft balsa wood. So when I paint that, they will show up more and it won't be so new and smooth looking. Okay, my lovelies, this is now the next day, the next morning. I just put this on, finished putting it on. I've worn bits on all the corners, so they're not brand new. I've chipped bits off with a scalpel or just different tools. There's a couple of broken planks of wood there that's been eaten away there and there. Why not? It's meant to be old. And this is now fully dry. As I said, I've left it overnight. I've got a little drop of water in there. I'm just going to add some acrylic. I'm going to use, we'll try a raw umber first of all, and just mix that in the water. I don't want it solid, I just want it very thin and runny, basically, very watery. Like so. And now I'm going to paint some of the inside. I don't have to do the whole thing because it's going to be filled up and planted. Looking forward to that bit. But it's just building up the piece as you go, basically. And I've had some more new subscribers that have messaged this morning. I watched the last video of Little Gretchen's workshop. Yay! I love when Little Gretchen has a video on. I've watched her forever. If you haven't heard of her, I shall put her name up on the screen here. And I shall put a link to her channel in the description box. I have done with other videos, but now I've mentioned her. And I'm only mentioning her because I watched her latest video this morning, and she opened up some gifts from different people. And a long time ago I'd sent her some items that I thought would go in her stories that she uses, and materials she could use. And she posted the video this morning, well, last night their time, so I watched it this morning. She's in the States, so it's several hours difference for us, but it was really fun. I just love watching. I know people write to me and they say they love watching my unboxing videos, just to see my reactions and everything. Well, I know exactly how you feel, because when I see Gretchen doing an unboxing, I can't wait. I have to make a cup of tea or a coffee, and sit down and get all comfy just to watch her and just enjoy the moment. So yeah, she's fabulous. I'd love to meet her. And she'd been given some gifts from one of both our family members, who we call, well, her name's Deborah. Hello again, Deborah. Joyzy Girl, we call her. And she'd bought stuff from my shop, but also said she was sending stuff to Gretchen. So when I sent her parcel off with a few freebies, I also sent these things that I thought Gretchen would like. So as she said in her video, which I agreed, I thought was funny, that when she had opened stuff from Debbie, or from Joyzy Girl, she says it was so funny to get things that she'd bought from my shop, but also got gifts from the seller as well, which was me. As I say, it's just so nice to share the love. Right, okay, so that's starting to look like dark brown wood, all old and mottled. The balsa wood, with it being water and paint, it all absorbs in, it just soaks in. So, and you can give it as many coats as you desire. So I'm going to let that dry. Oh, I've got some gold leaf on it from using this piece of card that I'm using for Georgie's Palace at the moment, which is coming along. Hopefully a video soon. There's just so much going on all the time. So, okay, I'm going to let that dry off a bit, and then I'm going to use a bit more of this and maybe a different shade as well, just to give it some different tones. So I'm going to make another cup of tea. So this is one of the drawers that I have that has all the garden stuff in, or the outdoor stuff, and I've just took a few handfuls out and placed them on my bench here at the side. I've got some coloured flowers, some moss, dried leaves, different bits of hedge stuff that you can just all squish in together. So I've just taken a selection of all of these out, and then I can just pad it out with the after I put the flowers in. Okay, so after putting on which one was it, the raw umber that I used, just wash that in all over, just a thin wash of it. Then I went over it with some raw sienna, just to give it other earthy tones, and just did it in patches, just light bits, dark bits. Then I went over it again with the raw umber to make some darker areas, and then I blow dried it, because the balsa wood does really soak it in. So I just got the hair dried out and blow dried it, and I waited till it was just slightly damp and wasn't bone dry, and then I got some rough sandpaper. Here we are, just a rough coarse sandpaper, and then just slowly, while it was still damp, I dragged the sandpaper along the edge, just in different strokes here and there, and that just started taking some of the paint off before it completely dried in, and it just made it more where wood starts going light in old age. So I don't know, this probably doesn't show it in the good light, but it should look very old, very worn. And what I'll do is, once I've, like I do with my unboxing videos, I'll put it on the bench, and then you can see it properly. That's the way it usually shows up. But I love the broken planks of wood here and there that that I've sort of just made as I've gone along, basically. So what I'm doing now is I'm just using some PVA, and I'm going to squirt that in the bottom of the planter first of all. And I've started cutting out bits of foam. Just, it doesn't matter if you do it in one piece or small pieces, and I'm going to drop that in just to start filling up the base. So it's just a dense foam that I use for making bricks and blocks and all sorts of things that's going to be used for over time. Let's put some more on here. I'm just going to fill this up and then let that dry as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just building it up enough so this it's not showing, it's not level with the planter, so it's sort of down inside, but it doesn't leave much space to fill, because you don't really want to fill it up with fake earth or anything to start with, because it's just going to use up too much of the items that you're using. And if I can put that down there, just push that in place, yeah, like so. If there's any earth that's going to show, then I just mix it with a watered down PVA. Oh, it doesn't really smell now, but I just use tea bags. So these are tea bags when we make a cup of tea. If you take the tea bag out of the mug before you apply your milk, then it's just the tea, and it's not. It doesn't have the dairy products in it. And then we just open them up and let them dry on a windowsill, and then just gradually add them to a box. And there we've got absolutely loads. This is a few years old now, this, and it's just used over time when it's needed. So I may sprinkle some of that in if I want, just to fill it up as well. Now, so I've finished the first planter. I'll show you them at the end when they're both done. And this one I'm doing, although the first planter took quite a long time to clad, because each piece of balsa wood, I was marking it, scoring it, making it aged looking, and then painting it different colours. This one I am only putting some, I'm just cladding it in thin strips of veneer. I forgot the name of it earlier, as I'm sure some of you told me what it was. I could hear people shouting, I just couldn't hear loud enough. But yeah, I'm using these strips of veneer, so I'm just cutting them and then laying them on. This is taking just as long, purely because the veneer is so thin on top of this wood, that as soon as you put it on, you've got to hold that piece in place until it's solidly dry all round. Otherwise it starts lifting up from the edges, even the short bits on the short ends there. These two ends are dry now because I've been holding them for a long time. Oops. These little wooden pegs come in quite handy for things like that. They're almost miniature than themselves. And I'm also using these metal bulldog clips, and they hold things on quite tightly as well. But yes, as I say, I'm cutting each piece, gluing it, and then pinning it down until it's solidly dry before I move on and put the next piece on. So I shall cut the next bit there, and then we'll finish the top bit. I'm going to colour this a sort of light oak colour, so it's just slightly deeper than its natural look just now. So it's just got a slight richness, almost a goldy colour to it. And then I think I'm going to put a matte varnish over it to seal it all completely. I know it's not literally for outdoor use, but I think I'm going to give it a matte varnish as well, just to really just seal the whole thing. So I shall carry on with that, and then let you see it at a later stage. It's been a long, hot, sunny day here in the UK today, but it's cooler in the shade in the workshop, which I prefer. I don't like lying out in the sun so much now. I'm sure I must have told you in one of a previous video, I'm sure quite a long time ago, when I lived in Scotland, one of my best friends, Emma, she's a black girl, and brought up in a Scottish family, and she was my best friend. She was like just absolutely amazing, and I loved her. And but times I didn't love her was when sometimes when a crowd of us would go round to her garden, because where they lived with her mum, they had a lovely big garden, and sometimes during the summer, as youngsters, we used to go there and just all sunbathe, just drink cold drinks and sunbathe in the garden. And I used to get really annoyed with her sometimes, because every now and again she would show me her suntan, and where she wore her sunbathing outfit, she used to pull the strap down off her shoulder and show me what she called the white mark, the white bits, and she was black. I can't believe she used to tan even more. And I would just sit next to her and sort of end up looking like my t-shirt, or maybe a bit redder. She always used to say, "You white people are rubbish at sunbathing." Oh, I did love Emma, and I still do. She's now living on the Isle of Wight, which is absolutely amazing place to live. Right, so I've ended up just cutting tiny thin strips just to edge the top of the planter, and then I'm going to just put pegs in these, because they're just thin pieces of veneer, and oops, and that will hold them nicely. There we are. You can just see just a tiny thin strip. They're only 3mm high, like the last strip that I've put around there, put on that end as well. Just 3mm just to finish off the edge there, and then I shall carry on with that. So I'm going to leave that there to dry. I think I'll go and have a cold drink and come back. Now, okay. So I got some coffee stirrers. You can get wider ones and the narrower ones. You can here in the UK anyway. And I'm using the thinner, narrower ones. And I've measured a certain way down and just snipped them. I've used I used one of these wood snippers. They're very handy for things like this, much easier than trying to use a craft knife to hold them straight and cut them. You just lay the stick in like that. That gives you a straight line. I think this, I can't remember now if this is going, that's going a bit blunt there now, but what I've been doing is just laying them straight but further up, and you can still see on the thing there if it's straight or not, like that. I've just been doing that, and then they snip to the length that you want. So I've cut a lot of those, a bit more than I need, and I'm going to colour these differently. The outside of the trough is now laminated. I've not laminated, veneered, that's it. What I am doing now, I made sure I didn't get any wood glue on the outside or on the joins. When you stain the wood, that would show up. But anyway, on top of that, just to try and help even more, I'm just sanding with a fine grit sandpaper. This is a P400 sandpaper, and I'm just smoothly sanding so it really smooths it down, and hopefully if there was any glue on there at all, it will have sanded that off. So can move that out of the way. Actually, I'll bring this piece of wood back and pop this on here. Now I'm going to use a light oak wood dye. This is the Rustin's wood dye. They're very, very good. I don't know if it's it's a UK make. It's got the little United Kingdom flag on it. But wood dyes are wood dyes, so I'm sure we can get them everywhere. Now normally if this was a big thing, or I was going to spend more time with it, I would do it outside of the workshop, but as it is, it's just a small item. I've got the doors wide open, the double doors, and the big window which is right beside to the left of me, and if in doubt you would wear a mask as well if you were doing this a lot. Obviously fumes from wood dye can't be that good. And then I'm just going to get it. What I'll do is I'll do this in here and then take this out and leave it on the workbench, the outdoor workbench, just to dry off. So hopefully this will just soak in and give it a richness. Very satisfying. And I should have put 2 gloves on, but there you go. So this is going to be a different look, completely different look from the other planter. And really it's just to show you, if you're using the exact same shape, really the ideas would be endless on how you would decorate this trough shape or this planter shape. You could do several. You could paint them bright colours. You could put stenciling on them. This is me just thinking out loud now as I've said this. You could cut little stencils, stencil them all on, paint them different colours. You could make the tops a bit wavy. You could do all sorts of things. Right, okay, so I've done it inside just down a bit, but I don't think, like the other one, I don't think that's going to show. Let's put the lid on that. Okay, so first of all I showed you, well, I've cut the ends off the coffee stirrers in all little bits, and then I thought, how do I hold them and paint them? So I will save those for another project, another time. Keep them in my spare wood box. So instead I've got more, and I'm just painting them slightly longer than I need on each end. and then that way I can hold them, and then balance them on a piece of balsa wood that's handy. Try not to touch them, that's it, and then they'll dry off, and then I am going to go to the point of sanding them and then giving them another coat, just to make them extra nice and smooth. If I remember rightly, these were from these actual coffee stirrers came from the lovely ladies at a fabulous a savoury donut place in Chicago. And they let me have them. I can't remember what it's called now. It's a well-known donut place. John Boy is outside sitting in the garden at the moment.
It was near Trump Tower.
It was near Trump Tower.
It was on that road.
On the big main road coming down from Trump Tower. Pardon? What did you say there?
By a crossroads.
Oh, yes, and it was by a crossroads. A big major crossroads.
Yeah.
Someone will let us know.
Yes.
The name of that. Was it something donuts? Like a name, somebody's name?
It's a well-known chain.
A well-known chain. And they had all savoury donuts. What was your favourite one you liked?
Because I don't really like donuts.
You don't really like donuts, but these...
I don't like British donuts.
Oh, no. Well, I do, but you don't.
But these... Oh, I can't remember now.
And they were just like a meal, weren't they, on their own? Not like the little things that we get here.
I can't remember now.
Oh, now I wish I hadn't said that now, because I'll be thinking... We'll have to look on Google.
It had icing. I'm sort of an icing.
Well, there was all different flavours. There was cinnamon and ones with icing and chocolate and cream.
I'll have a look.
Have a look, JB. Come back to us. We must know. And now I'm thinking of Chicago when we went there and stayed there for a couple of weeks. It was really interesting going on the loop, the elevated railway, which we've seen in movies for years beforehand. When we saw films of, and they're obviously set in American cities, and we see the loop. In fact, I'm thinking of the film with Patrick Swayze, one of my favourites because it's got Whoopi Goldberg in it. Ghost, thank you. Somebody's just shouted out Ghost. Yes, the movie Ghost. I'm sure he was running under the loop at some point. I may be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. Who knew? But yes, I'll just you stay with me just now, guys. And JB's gone in the house to get his phone. I'm sure he's looking up the donut place. And I'm sure some of you have been screaming at me all from the beginning what it's called. That's the downside of TV. If you watch YouTube on TV or on your phone, they can't hear you shouting at them. Mind you, I'm sure for some people that's a godsend. Some of the videos that they're producing just recently. Gosh, I'm not going to get political with anyone. I'm not a political YouTuber, but I just feel sad for our world sometimes, and hopefully one day it will get better. In the meantime, let's make planters. There we are, that's that one. I'll do another one here, and I will. Yeah, that one's not too thin really. Oh, by the way, this colour I'm using on the light oak planter, I wanted these to be coloured, and I didn't want a bright colour or really dark colour, and I've picked out the John Boy green, the colour that I had made in our local DIY store. They can mix colours for you. And I took John Boy's t-shirt that he was wearing one day when I was thinking of a colour that I wanted, and he came downstairs wearing his t-shirt, and as I saw him, it reminded me that's exactly the shade of green I want. So he had to take his t-shirt off while I went down to the DIY store and take his t-shirt with me so they could scan it. So this is John Boy Green, it's called. Stan's Donuts? Is that right? Is there images of it? It could have been.
I can't see any others.
No.
I'll look on the menu. It's not, I don't recognise any of these names apart from that one.
Right, let me pause the video and get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need another coffee stirrer. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I've just had to stop for a minute because I have had a comment from one of our lovely family members. This is from, I didn't write your name down, but I think your name on the comment was Daniela. Hello Daniela, if you're watching this video. It's the first time I've seen you make a comment, I think, and I'm not sure whereabouts you're from, but your English is excellent, but obviously you do speak another language, your native tongue. And before I tell you folks what the comment was, if you haven't looked already and seen the comments, I just want to say first of all that I am not mocking the way Daniela has written her comment. It's just to say it to me, it was just very funny. So I won't spend too much time explaining that, but I do want to say that when when people that speak English, maybe this happens in other countries as well, but I'm only speaking from my perspective, but English speaking people, when they hear other people that are from other countries, foreign people from other countries talking English, and every now and again they may say a word that's completely out of place or wrong, it's so easy for English speaking people to laugh at it or mock it or pick up on it, and think that it's funny, they've said it wrong. And a lot of those people do not turn around and think to themselves, actually, I don't know a single word of that person's language, not a single word. So a lot of people are too quick on picking on other people when they're trying to speak a language that's not their own. Which is why, although I've been learning Spanish and I would love to speak some kind of Spanish with somebody, I'm also too frightened to say the wrong word or the wrong phrase or something in case they laugh at me, which is, you know, I shouldn't. But anyway, it stops me learning the language more than I would like to. But this is just funny in not, you know, it's just funny. I have to read it. This is from Daniela, who's obviously enjoying my videos, and she looked at an old video where I was putting furniture into the French haberdashery shop, and it is beautiful furniture, but I just wanted to read this. So she has said, had a beautiful cup of coffee on this beautiful morning day, looking at this fantastic video. Thank you, such a lovely doll's house, and the furniture is simply rubbishing. Like I say, Daniela, wherever you are from originally or are from now, I probably can't say one word in your language, so I am not mocking you, but I just think it's lovely, and it's just a perfect place to say that to someone like me, that the furniture is simply rubbishing. I'm not actually sure what word you might have been meaning ravishing. You might have been meaning something completely different. But I know you don't think my furniture is rubbish, but I just think that is so adorable, and you couldn't have said a better word. So I'm not mocking you, Daniela. I am loving the fact that you wrote this to me. And I have written it down so I can cherish your comment. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching along with everybody else. Right, let's get on with this. Let's get on with this rubbishing video. I love it. Okay, so I'm using a Liquitex matte varnish. I've got different ones. Oh, that's not even in focus. But anyway, it's a Liquitex matte varnish. And sorry, it's probably not focusing okay. But you can, on furniture, you can use 1, 2, 3 coats, whatever suits you. So it's an acrylic matte. So I've given this a layer earlier on and let it dry. So it's just got just a very light, not a real sheen or anything. It is quite matte, but maybe just a slight satin finish really. So that's nice sealed. The wood is nice and sealed for outdoor use. So I've now cut in the little coffee stirrers, and I'm just applying some tiny dabs of glue. I'm not using wood glue because the wood glue doesn't disappear when it dries, just in case it comes out the sides of the sticks at all. So I'm using PVA, and I'm using a cocktail stick to just pinprick the center of the sticks, so that when I press them onto the planter, we don't get loads of glue oozing out. So this is where the sort of attention to detail comes in. It takes longer, and but you get a nice clean finish. I would do that for myself if I was making these for myself, but as I'm making these to sell, then I want them looking nice. Of course, I've measured exact from the center and then coming out with tiny little marks here with a pencil, so they'll be as exact as I can get them. And then I'm basically offering it up to the trough, and again holding breath. And then I'm using a little bit of masking tape just to hold it, and don't move it when you press it down. Make sure you keep it in exactly the same position to dry. There we are. So that's just holding those on. I'm going to put ones on the edges as well, but I may not be able to fit those in with the tape. I'll probably do the other side just to get the straight bits on first. Okay, all is done. I've actually ended up working on these planters over 3 days, which sounds a bit extravagant, I know, but I was, with all the little bits of glue in and wanting to keep things in place and that, I just left them for quite a while to dry, each tiny section. I wanted them just right, especially if you're going to sell your items as well. So hopefully a couple of lucky people will own these pieces, but I'm looking there because they're up on the one of the rooms of the George's Palace at the moment, which is ongoing, as you know, but will be filmed over probably a year, maybe longer. So anyway, I'll move the camera down here, or put the pieces down here, and I will show you them finished. I'm very proud of them. So here is the older looking planter, the old wood planter. that old sort of cottagey feel. Lots of lovely little plants and flowers in, just growing up nicely through the summer. And for the person that wants a more modern planter or newer planter, we have the light oak stained wood with the pale green panelling and a different arrangement of flowers and greenery. We have these arum lilies growing in our garden at the moment, and they come up every year beautifully. So anyway, I hope you lovelies like my planters. They are unique, they are one-offs. If they sell, then I might make more and carry on making them and selling them, and hopefully they'll start appearing in some of your dollhouses across the world, which is the most exciting thing for me. When anything goes out across the world, I get excited wrapping up things that you've bought from my website, my shop, as if it's me that's receiving them. Honestly, it's ridiculous how happy I get that I know this is going to different places. I wasn't going to mention that, as you know, I just talk and see what comes out. But what I will say is I've got them here ready to put back onto the website. I have some of the items, the new items that had sold out. I have bought more stock and replaced them. So these are the all the bookends that I had, the different bookends I had sold out. There's horses, globes. What do I have here? Cats, obviously cats. The cats sell very well. And because I started selling these at the almost the recommended retail price, but not quite, I also made books, I think 5 books for each set that was sold, and I put those in with all of the people that bought them. So I am carrying on that tradition, and I spent a while altogether making 50 books. I think I ended up with a few extra, so some of you will get 6 books, some will get 5, some will get 6, but just to do something nice for you when you buy any of these bookends. So they're on my website now in the new items for sale. The planters, because they are new, they're also in the new items for sale section. I love the different types. I'm sort of interested maybe in making more different designs again. We'll see. I'm going backwards and forwards here, but you know me now, guys. I've also got more of the old world maps and the new world maps. They've sold really well. I love them personally. JB bought one for himself that he has hanging up in one of his houses. I'm going to buy some for me, for my houses when I start dressing them. The teardrop handles, they sell well as well. They sell well as well. So different things like that. As far as I know, I don't know how long it will be until the video comes on, but just a little heads up, don't tell anybody else, but JB has a room box and he is decided to do a little video of his own. So I'm going to give him my phone, sit him here or over there or wherever he wants to be, and let him do his own thing. I think at some point, maybe when he's doing the build, he may bring me in to hold the camera to video him doing things. So it'll be a mix of the two of us, but it's going to be JB's video. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. But that hopefully will actually, hopefully, as you see this video, the same day after I've uploaded this video, the moment after that, which is today, JB is planning to start the video, so we'll see how that goes. I for one can't wait to watch it. I'm already a fan. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you, and thank you so much to everyone that's been emailing as well as commenting. Thank you so much for everyone that's been sending donations to support my channel. That is incredible. If anyone wants to send a little something to donate to help my channel, which I at the moment am putting every single penny or dime or whatever we want to call it, or groat, it is all going towards materials for Georgie's Palace. So anyone that donates to my channel at the moment during this period of time will be physically, financially helping Georgie's Palace to become what it is going to become. So I love you all, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Take care, everybody. I'll go now because I think JB wants to start ASAP. Take care, everybody, and speak again soon. And keep well. Bye.